Hi everybody, I'm Paul Galley and I'm the volunteer coordinator here at Tramtown, and I'm part of this incredible bunch of people that make Tramtown possible. So since you last had a video from us about the opening here, which would have been back in Easter time, back in April, which seems a long time ago now, we've done a lot of different things. Back in April, I felt very much like an estate agent. So I would say, oh, imagine this looking like this, or imagine it looking like that. But now we're actually closer to what that reality looks like, because in the 3 or so months that we've been open, actually four months now, is it? We've done a lot. We've been able to deliver a lot of those dreams. We still have, though, a huge amount to do. So, for example, here we are at the entrance. Since you were last here, obviously we've got some illuminations that have appeared, and we've obviously connected illuminations into the Tramtown experience because of electricity and all of the things that electricity means for Blackpool's history. So, for example, with Tramtown, we were the first town in Britain to have electric street lights, and part of that was connected to where the trams went. It was also then connected not long after with where we did the the illuminations and so on. Now, work for us to do, you can see where we painted and where we haven't painted. So our next big target is to get a scissor lift and then paint all of the top. So we're just working on that at the moment. We've really got till the end of September to do that, because after that the weather will change. So that's our next mission here. So Tramtown looks just as good on the outside as it does on the inside. If we don't get that right, it's like eating a brilliant meal on a dirty plate, and we don't want you to have a dirty plate, we want you to have a lovely clean plate. So let's go and have a look inside and let's show you what that meal looks like. Right, so we're now on the entrance. Now, when you were last here, we had just painted the green, and I remember we'd just painted it because plenty of people were still walking on it a few days before, and there were green footprints everywhere. It was that rush to get it done. Since then we've added red paint, so you've now got a proper traffic light system here. So you've got the red tells you where you can't go, and then you've got the green which tells you where you can go. Now, in addition to that, you've got the barriers, and they just naturally allow people to be free to walk around as we allow them in. And that's different, because traditionally a tour here, you were very much marshalled, you had tour guides, you had safety stewards. Those people are still around, but they're here in a different way. They're in the tram, they're at the entrance, they're milling around, but you're not being escorted. You get to choose where you go when you want to go. And that's liberating for the experience. So you can obviously see we've got the shop here. We're doing a lot of work behind the scenes currently on the shop, so we've got a whole lot more new stock coming. But numbers have been really good as well. So we're consistently averaging around 30 people a day, and then we're aiming now to try and get that target to closer to 50. That's our mission. Behind me, obviously, we've got a Bolton tram. That tram, we normally have a tour guide on it, and they will talk to you. You can get on it, sit down, have your pictures taken at the controls, and they'll give you a little potted history of what that's like and the general experience and so on. And then we've got different bits of information around as well. Again, that tells you a bit of history about certain machinery parts. And the key to Tramtown, and our vision one day, is to get the engineers back. So the money we raise will do two things: pay for repairs on this roof here. It will allow us to recruit an engineer and in time get this machinery operational again and do some repairs on the trams to one day get them back out. That's our dream, as well as the funding bid that we're still working on for the main tram shed itself. So Tramtown is right at the heart of restoring the trams, but by restoring the buildings that they live in and making them commercially viable. That is absolutely essential. We cannot do that without a strong base, and that's linked very much to what's behind you, and that is our cafe area. So the cafe area we put in about 4 or 5 weeks ago. It just does teas, coffees, some biscuits, all very basic level. But it allows a dwell time to increase. It allows people to have a refreshment. They can watch a video whilst they're sat there, and you can see the guys, they're working. We're about to paint the wall there and open this space, put more green paint down, and then we'll get some more tables and chairs so we can increase capacity for that. So that's going really, really well, and that it just shows how successful we've been, because that wasn't meant to be done until next year in the business plan that I wrote back in January. So the fact that we've gone forwards with that's had a massive impact, and it's been a huge success. So this area is largely transformed, but it's transformed in a really good way. It's got us closer to where I wanted us to be in Easter. Tramtown, we are open currently 4 days a week. When we started in Easter, it was 2 days a week, so we've doubled the amount of time that we're open. We're currently open through August, Saturdays, Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and that's required a lot of back office work with the team to put in place a whole new structure. So it didn't require the whole team to be in on one day, it required them to be spread out, and we had to upskill people in order to do that, because it shouldn't have relied on me being here for us to grow, for that to happen. We've done a lot of work there. That's gone really well. That's allowed us to increase our income, it's allowed more people to come, and the team have really, really enjoyed that. So after August, in September, we'll go Saturdays, Mondays and Wednesdays, and then we're aiming into October half term to do the full 7 days. And that's a big step for us, so I'm working on that at the moment. Now, next year we're aiming to do at some point 7 days as well, quite regularly. But in order for that to happen, we'll need volunteers. So if anybody's interested in joining us, please message us, and I'll take you through the process. You only need to sort of come in once or twice a month, and you'll be part of a brilliant team. We have a buddy system here, so you're never on your own, and it's great for opportunities for all, and we find a role for everybody here as part of our Tramtown family. The other thing to make you aware of is we have on the 29th of September our first event. One of our targets is to do events here, so we're going to have David Evans, who's maybe familiar to some of you, but David is a wonderful raconteur, tour guide, great character, knows the Fylde Coast history really well, and is a wonderful fella. He's going to do a tour, or a talk rather, on 200 years of railways on the Fylde, in particular the railway to Fleetwood. And that's going to be on the 29th of September, and that will be 140 years since Blackpool trams started. So it's a very, very special date. We're going to cover two things. Obviously, the trams are going to be in this wonderful place, and that's going to be starting at 7 o'clock tonight, and we'll put a link into the video so you'll be able to see that and book a ticket. It's £10 a ticket, and that includes refreshments, and it should all finish by 9 o'clock. And you'll be in the dark, and that is significant because we don't just do trams. If I just take you around here, we also do illuminations. And since you were last here with us, we have a mirror ball, we have some jelly babies, a gingerbread man which we're working on to light up, and obviously some other older displays. And we have had visitors come just for the My Little Pony, and from all over the country to see it and have their picture taken next to it. We never realised, but it's very rare. So that's been a big success itself as well. And this section will grow in time as we add more illuminated exhibits. So when you come to Tramtown, you'll inevitably come to this section. So it gives you a great view of HMS Blackpool behind me here. I think from memory it's got live life to the limits, I think, on the side of it, which I think pretty much sums up where I am in life at the moment. And we've done quite a lot of work with this area. So at Easter, all this area was fenced off, but we've painted it and we've opened it up to the public. So you now come and stand here, have your picture taken. We've got a lot more work to do though. One of the things we want to do is not just allow you to look at the forge, but we're going to have a table and it'll allow you to pick up some of the tools and see how heavy they are. So a bit more interactive, and I think that's our next mission, is to make the exhibits more interactive. So you can touch, you can play, you can connect with and feel and sense. So that's our next bit. So we're going to start with something down here, and that will add a huge amount to what this area does. We also have a big screen down there, and that gives you some commentary on the trams when they were running. Again, it's full of sound. We've also got our toilets just down there. At the moment, the team are in, the two wonderful ladies and they are painting a mural for us, and it's going to look at 2 trams. Parked on, well, they're both at the bottom of Talbot Road with North Pier behind them. It's going to be a boat tram and I think a standard car tram, 147, and they'll be on this big wall. So that's going to be really special. So they're literally working on that as we speak. And I think that summarises where we are with Tramtown. It's like doing open heart surgery on a patient that's doing a marathon at the same time. So you're always adding and changing and improving while still being open, and that's brilliant. We've got that balance just about right, where people can see the differences, they can see the guys at work, but they can also be part of it themselves in a way as they get involved, and it's always changing. You come this week, it looks like this. 2 weeks time it looked completely different again, and that's wonderful. I'm really proud of the level of work that everyone's put in, and it's a huge team that we've got, and that's roughly summarises the journey so far in Tramtown. And it's so important to remember why we're doing it. The why is crucial. This is just the how. The why is because we want to see these back on the road. We want to see them running. That's going to require a base that has its own future, is sustainable, generates income, and crucially allows us to fund engineers and have a volunteer team around that engineer, as you would in any heavy rail operation. And that roughly summarises the success of Tramtown so far. So thank you for joining us on this journey. We're really grateful for all your support. We know we've got lots of new subscribers. We're really keen to see that go over the 1,000 mark, and it captures just how big this project's going to be for not just Blackpool, but for the good of Britain and the world. We need this to work. It's so important to so many people.